Hey guys, and welcome to day 17 of Vlogmas. If you've been watching my recent vlogs, you know that I have actually promised you guys one of my Q&A videos. So I asked for some questions in one of my previous vlogs and I compiled them on this list right here. So I'm just gonna answer them. So I'm just gonna start now. By the way, I had to pre-record this video because today on the 17th, I'm actually gonna be going to Miami. So I'm gonna be on a plane for like 11 hours. So I literally don't have time to film or upload a video. I'm not really sure if there even is a strong Wi-Fi connection at the hotel that we're staying at in Miami. So I just pre-recorded this so that you guys actually have a Vlogmas Day 17 video. So let's start this question and answer thing. So I have to say most of the questions on here are about my life as a flight attendant. Just saying. So I like that it's somewhat flight attendant related once again, because the past few weeks I haven't really been flying since I was on my yearly vacation time and I didn't really fly, so I didn't really post videos about flight attendant life because I didn't really have anything to vlog about. I didn't go on a trip, but there will be a video up probably on the 19th about my Miami trip, so keep watching out for that one. So let's start with the Q&A. So first question, if you could move to another country, where would you go? That is actually a tough question. Probably somewhere warm. Like, I don't like winter. The weather here, I don't like it. Like, I know I'm living in a completely wrong country. Like, I'm living in the Austrian Alps pretty much. I grew up in a little village in the mountains here in Austria where it's snowy and cold like half of the year. So definitely I grew up in the wrong country. So I'd probably say Australia, maybe somewhere like Brisbane where it's like 70 degrees Fahrenheit all year round. That's like 20 to 25 degrees centigrade. So I really liked Australia because of all of the beaches and I like the mentality of the people there. I don't know, I think that's just what I would choose because I just liked how easygoing and down to earth everything is down under. Yeah. So next question. Do you ever get people on your flight who are scared of flying? Oh yeah, definitely. So it's not like on every flight that you have someone who's super scared of flying, but I'd say on every flight there are a few people who are a little scared of flying. So I'd say every like second or third flight I get someone who's super scared. So you could probably see in the beginning of the flight that they are somewhat scared, they'll be a little nervous and stuff. So I usually just walk up to the passengers and ask them if everything is alright, if they maybe want a cup of water before we depart and all of that. And usually they tell me quite soon that they're a little scared of flying. And once they tell me that they are scared of flying, or if I think that they might be scared of flying, I always let all of my colleagues on the plane know, because only if everyone knows what's going on with the passenger, everyone can make sure that they feel happy and comfortable and safe on the plane, right? So what happens is that I try to make the passenger feel as comfortable as I can on board. I try to explain everything to them, that we have the newest safety equipment, that we're trained for everything, and that light turbulences or even strong turbulences are usually not gonna hurt the plane. And for instance, if there are some turbulences and if the captain lets us know that there will probably be some turbulence, I walk up to the passenger ahead of time and let them know and tell them it might get a little bumpy, but don't worry. And also after turbulences I go to them and check if everything's okay. And yeah, a lot of the times people sit at a window and they're scared of flying, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. And then I just ask other passengers if they want to maybe change seats, and then I reseat that person on an aisle seat, and usually that already helps. And then I bring them water, I ask them if they want a glass of champagne or something, and yeah, usually it works quite well. And yeah, there definitely are a lot of people scared of flying, but I haven't had a severe case, like a really severe case where they were freaking out. I haven't had that. I hope I will never have a case like that. But yeah, definitely a lot of people scared of flying. Then third question, did you always want to be a flight attendant, and what has traveling taught you? Okay, that's two questions. First question, no, not at all. I mean, I always thought that being a flight attendant would be a really cool career choice, but I never actually thought that I was going to be a flight attendant. Like, I always loved to travel. Before I became a flight attendant, I had been to the US several times. I had been to Australia before, I had been to the UK and so on. But I never actually thought that I was going to be a flight attendant. So one day I actually saw a ton of pictures of one of my former classmates from high school, and she was posting all of those cool pictures of different cities around the world because she was a flight attendant. So she worked for 2 airlines so far, I think, but now she's actually working for the one I'm working for, and she's been working for them 1 year longer than I have. So one day I actually saw one of those job ads on Facebook from the airline I work for now. And then I was like, that actually sounds interesting. I'm gonna talk to my former classmate. So I messaged her on Facebook and told her that I was interested in becoming a flight attendant for her airline because I saw all of her cool pictures and I just saw the job ad, blah blah blah. And she's also Austrian and she's working in Germany as well. So I asked her how it worked and all of that, because there is actually a lot of paperwork that is part of working in a different country. I mean, it's not so bad since it's both in the European Union, but still there is a lot of paperwork. So I was just like, I'm gonna apply, I'm gonna see how the interview goes, and if they don't offer me a CJO, that is, well, you don't get a job offer per se, because at first you have to go through training and then you get the job offer, pretty much. So I got my CJO and I was like, am I gonna do this? Because I had actually applied to different jobs. I had applied to some office jobs that would have paid a lot more money than I'm making right now. But I was like, I can live from this job, it works. And then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it because otherwise I'm gonna regret it. And I love to travel all along. But yeah, I never actually thought I was gonna be a flight attendant. But now I am, and I love it. It's one of my dream jobs. So yeah, to the second part of the question, what has traveling taught you? Well, a lot of things. First of all, to appreciate every single little thing, like to appreciate my room here in Salzburg. Like before, I was always trying to go somewhere. I was always pretty much suffering from wanderlust. So I always wanted to go another place. I never liked it at home, and now I actually like it here. And also to admire everything, like nature somewhere else, people, like all of those amazing people that I meet every single day when I'm working. Whether it's on a plane, the passengers, the crew, or in a different country. It's just amazing. So traveling has definitely taught me a lot. Like being a flight attendant has taught me a lot. And also it has pretty much led to me not really taking things personally, because passengers can sometimes be rude. I mean, most of the time they're really nice and everything. There are some rude passengers and it just has to go in here, out here, and that's it. You cannot take that personally, and that's what traveling as a flight attendant also taught me. Like working, it's just, yeah, you know how people are sometimes. But yeah, let's go on with question number 4. You flight attendants work with the safety of the passengers and are serving them food and beverages. What is the reason that flight attendants have heels, and how does that fit together with safety on a plane in case of an emergency? That is a really good question. So first of all, we do have heels. Yes, that's correct. I'm not sure about all airlines, but for my airline, and I know a lot of airlines are the same way, you have 2 pairs of shoes that you're wearing when you're working. So the first pair are my heels, which are my, we call them boarding shoes because I wear them for boarding. But once the doors close, I actually change my shoes and I'm wearing my galley shoes. My galley shoes are actually pretty much flats. They have maybe like half an inch of a heel, maybe it's 1 inch, something like that. So also when I'm wearing my uniform pants, I'm actually allowed to wear flats as well. Just for the dress and the skirt, I have to wear heels for boarding. That's it. So on a plane, I can wear comfortable shoes. There are some requirements, like they have to be black or dark blue for my company, and they have to be leather or fake leather. They just have to look like leather. They can't have any accessories, they can't be Mary Janes, stuff like that. But yeah, that's just my airline requirements. But yeah, you can actually wear flats on a plane, so it doesn't interfere with the safety at all. I know some people still wear heels on a plane, but I mean, we have special heels. Like there are companies who actually make flight attendant shoes that are really comfortable. You can still move in them the same way you can move with regular shoes. I mean, we're not talking about trekking shoes or anything like that, but just like regular like flats, like ballerina flats or something. So anyways, in case of an emergency, we would take our shoes off as well if we are deboarding on those slides, because Actually, the slides are not gonna get damaged by those shoes because slides are very durable. But the reason why everyone has to take heels off when deboarding on a slide is because you could actually hurt someone else. If you get stabbed in your back by some sort of shoes or on your head or whatever, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna leave a mark. That's why you have to take your shoes off. So we have places where you could actually store them on a plane that are right next to our flight attendant stations. So we would probably just throw them in there. They wouldn't be in the way of the shoes as far as I can tell. And as to why we flight attendants wear heels, well, for boarding and when you're walking around in your uniform outside, it's just because it looks nicer. I think it looks like more pulled together. You know, people who are wearing, like females who are wearing a suit or something, they often wear heels as well because it looks nice, it makes your legs look longer. And I know it is probably a bad thing, it's somewhat sexist probably, but it's just the way it is. I mean, in earlier times, flight attendants had to be a certain weight and height. I mean, the height thing is somewhat true because you have to reach those bins, like the overhead compartments, to close them. But the weight doesn't really matter as long as you're fit enough. So yeah. By the way, I'm falling here. Like, I'm sitting on my suitcase and it's moving. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I feel way more stable now the way I'm sitting on my suitcase now. So anyways, I hope that answered the question. Now let's go on with question number 5. What was the scariest thing that happened on a flight? Well, I'd probably say when we had 2 medical emergencies at the same time. So we had 2 passengers who passed out on a flight, and I was in the galley and another passenger got me and was like, my seat neighbor isn't feeling too well. So I go there and check it out, and the lady was like, oh. And I asked her what's wrong, and she could barely speak English. She was from another country altogether. She didn't speak any German. She spoke a tiny little bit of English. She was like, I'm not feeling well. And I told her, okay, what do you eat, blah blah blah. And I just did everything according to our medical emergency checklist that we have on a flight. And then I actually got a colleague of mine who was from the country she was from, and she actually was able to translate and get a few more answers. So she actually ended up pretty much fainting. In the end, it was okay. There was like nothing wrong. She just hadn't slept much. She was tired from traveling. She didn't eat much. She had a few glasses of alcohol and it just was too much for her system. And then like 3 minutes after that, we had another passenger fainting. It was the exact same thing. So we were split in 2 galleys. Like, it was on the A340, our biggest plane that we have in Munich right now. So we had some people in our galley at door 3 helping the one passenger, and the other people helping the other passenger in our back galley. That's our main galley in economy class. But yeah, that was a really scary flight, but everything was fine in the end, so we got really lucky actually. So next question, how can you be a flight attendant and a grad student at the same time? Well, I told you guys before that I'm studying at university, but the thing is, so I finished all of my courses pretty much before I became a flight attendant. Then I took last year off and I just started writing my master's thesis in September, which means that I don't have to physically be at university most of the time. I still have to be there for some presentations about the master thesis, like I have to present the theoretical part of the thesis in a few weeks and stuff like that, but technically I just have to write the thesis, which is why I can work as a flight attendant and be a grad student at the same time. My company, for instance, offers a lot of like study and fly programs where you work part-time, like 25% or 50% of the time, and that works really well with studying at university too. It just depends on your university and their attendance policy and which courses you're taking, what you're studying, all of that. So if you're working for my airline, it's quite easy to study while flying, but for other airlines I actually don't know if it's easy or not. I don't know if they have programs like that. You would have to check that out, so just Google it and then you should be able to know, or just give them a call if you can't find any information on it online, or ask other flight attendants. They are probably able to tell you. So next question, how long have you been a flight attendant for? I have been a flight attendant since, well, my first training flight was last year in October, and then my first flight as a real flight attendant out of training was last year in the beginning of December. So it's been a little over a year. And then there's one more question. What's your favorite destination? Okay, that depends. So I tend to choose my destinations based on the food I can actually eat there a lot of the time. Or I go somewhere where it's warm. Like in the winter time, I'm just gonna go somewhere where it's warm and sunny. So I would probably say Miami in the winter time, LA in the summertime, because it's not really that hot, but it's still nice and warm. There's always a light breeze. So it's never really scorching hot, you know, it's just a nice temperature. And then for the food, I'd probably say either Seoul in South Korea, because I love Korean barbecue and bibimbap, or also Tokyo in Japan, because I totally love sushi. That were all of my questions that I got. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you know a little bit more about me now. If you have any further questions, just let me know in the comments below, because I'll always try to answer all of those. It might take me a while if I'm really busy in flying, but I'm always trying to answer every single question. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. And also check out my Snapchat and Instagram account, because there might already be some Miami pictures up there. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.